Alrighty, here's the piece of foam. I've already started because I was waiting for that end of the video to load up. Anyway, but I'm starting a road. What I did is I just Sharpied a Y road intersection in this, and I started cutting it out. So basically what I do is I'll go along my Sharpie lines with the blade, and again, you don't have to have this blade all the way up, and this is, I would use the this size blade, but since I've snapped my blade, I don't have time to. Anyway, but go around your Sharpie line and dig in about 45-degree angles and snap out. Snap out. And what that's going to do is give you this natural curve. It's gonna look like you know, like a rock face or something. Anyway, but just go in there, just cut out, and go as deep as you want. See, I'm starting lower down here because it's going uphill and it's curving off to the right, but this one's going to go uphill, so this is going to be a lot deeper. So like I said, you can go deeper, but take it off in layers. Don't try to do it all at once. You want to do is about ½ inch layers and just work your way down. And when you get to the point where you've got the center all cut out and everything, and you've just got the raw edges here, take the back of your blade, and like I've been showing you guys, especially this looser foam, it's going to have a more natural look to it that you can, and again, you can go as deep as you want in certain areas. Because I was thinking about doing a bunch of trees and everything up here and making this, you know, a forest or something. But it's messy, so do it over a box or a trash can or something. But you can actually, again, you can texture it as much as you want. All right, there's what you have so far, and you've got the road here, which you've cut out. And what I usually do on the road and any flat surface, I'll go over it with my sandpaper and just get it flat. And again, this is not a final coat. This is just getting your areas defined. This is just trying to get your diorama, the basic look of your diorama. So, and again, you could take that same sandpaper and go over your dirt area, or you're going to put the grass and the static grass and everything, and get it knocked down. But you're going to be painting that anyway, and you want it as natural as can be. And again, I've done the same thing in between where the track marks are. It's a country road, so it's going to have some loose dirt and grass in the middle. So, and what I've done with that is I've gauged my tracks at a vehicle that I ran up here, and I gauged it. So, and again, I'm going to eyeball it, but you do the same thing if you want to create that look right there. Again, come back over and find out where your center is. And again, you can take a Sharpie, and wherever my Sharpie went to, and mark your areas. I'm going to do the back of this, but what you can do is you can mark your areas, your center, and take your X-Acto or your expandable and dig down about a 45-degree angle and do the same thing. Snap it out. Snap it out. Snap it out. And you're going, well, that's going to create a divot here, but no, just come back over and flatten it out. Just come over and flatten it out, because the center part is going to be higher than where your wheel's going to go, because this is going to be all your wheel tracks on both sides. So basically 45-degree angle down and snap up. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It can be as thick or as thin as you want, but just make sure that you get it thin enough to where it goes in between the wheel bases of your vehicles, whatever scale this is going to be a 1/32nd or a 1/35th scale mountain road. So basically, I'm going back through here and defining the lower parts of the road. Again, same thing. After that 45-degree angle on one side, come back and just and you can do this several different ways. This is just the way I do it. And again, a lot of you guys already know how to do dioramas, and this is just probably just entertainment for you. But again, the thing about dioramas, the bigger you go, especially when you're using mud, and plaster, it gets heavy. This basically is not. This is your primary base, and then you can put mud or textured or thick paint and static grass. But basically, this is going to be your biggest item on your diorama is the base, and you want that as light as possible because you don't want this thing weighing 12 tons. So basically, once you get your center cut, and again, I'm gonna define it a little bit more and cut it out. But anyway, but that's kind of basically your general idea. And again, you can come back and shape it. But again, take the back of your blade and scuff up because that's all loose dirt. That's all loose dirt in there. And again, come back with your sandpaper or your sanding block. And I usually turn it like this because they're going to be wheel ruts. So basically, you're going to do wheel ruts in there. See, and that curvature of the sandpaper is doing most of the work for you. Then you come back with a smoother grit sandpaper if you want, or if you're going to mud it over, that's fine because I know most of you guys do mud and textured paint. Anyway, but you've got a general road there, and like I said, you come back and trim everything up a little bit. And if you've got, like what I do, I have a loose rubber strip of tank treads and half-track treads. And again, this stuff has a memory. What I do is I'll take that tread and I'll lay it down there and mash it in. Just mash it in, and it leaves the treads, and you can take the tread marks around the corners and all that. But that's basically the start of my diorama. Is you get the general idea now is once you get to this point, once you get a raw idea of what your diorama is going to look like, then you could start refining it. This is just getting your idea down. So basically my idea is going to be a three-way Y in the road, and it's going to be a mountain road, so it's going to be rough. It's going to have tire ruts, and it's going to be a military used road or a service road or whatever, but it's going to have all the tire ruts and everything, and it's going to do the same thing. I'm thinking about trees, a forest, maybe glue some rocks down, a signpost, whatever, maybe a guy directing traffic. I don't know, but it's going to be big enough for a couple of tanks and maybe a tent or something over here, or just whatever. It's going to be a crossroads. Anyway, but that's basically the idea. It's what I do. And again, you can kind of start seeing that thing take shape. The roads, it's probably, you can actually make it to where it's muddy. If not, you can put a lot of static grass in there in the center where it's overgrown, and with your tire ruts in there and your tire tracks. And again, if you have little wheels, extra wheels with defined tread on them, roll them in there. Just roll them in there. You know, I've got a little pizza cutter that has the treads on there that I put a wheel on there, and I do that for my wheels. So anyway, anything. Anyway, but the size of this thing will make a pretty good diorama. And again, weight is an issue when you get big. When you go big, you got to cut back on your weight. So this styrofoam works great. Even if you put mud on this, this is going to soak up most of your weight. Okay. Anyway, but that's my spiel. And again, got any questions or comments or easier ways to do it? If you see something I'm doing that there's an easier way, or you can show me something, man, I'm all open. And anyway, but that's my spiel today. I'll hit you back up and I'll finish this up and I'll show you what it's going to look like, and I can probably go to the next step, priming. Okay, later.